Hey, and welcome back to yet another concept art video. In the last lesson, I taught you how to use the colorize mask in Krita. It's one of the most powerful algorithms that lets you just mark the coloring areas of your line art and boom, instant base color. This way you don't waste any time with the tedious coloring and can focus on adding the beautiful details, shading and lighting, the holy grail of your eye candy illustration, which is arguably the most fun part of the process. So, with the boring, mundane base color already set, thanks to Krita, let's dive into the details phase. Now, if you watched my previous tutorial, you might have noticed the base color here looks slightly different. That's because I made a few changes to the color mask. I thought the main blade area should be darker. I talked about how to make changes to your color mask in the previous tutorial, so I won't cover it here. Link in the description box if you missed it out. Now, before we proceed further, Krita doesn't allow you to paint directly on a colorized mask. You must convert it into a paint layer first. I suggest you make a backup copy just in case. So I'm going to duplicate it, rename it, and hide it away. Then right click and choose convert to paint layer. Essentially, I have turned the mask into a layer where we can work on it as normal. I will rename it CB, which stands for color base. Press Ctrl plus Shift plus G to turn it into a quick clipping layer group. Let's call the group color. And this is going to be the shading layer. Grab a suitable solid brush. My favorite is the basic 5 size due to its flexibility. I will assume the light source is hitting the knife from this direction. It doesn't matter which direction you choose as long as you are consistent. Shadows will likely hit these areas the most, notably the joints and the edges to the far right. Starting with the main body of the knife, hold down Ctrl and click over here to sample the base color. Use the shortcut K to quickly darken it. I've mapped this shortcut to my toolbox combination of the top and the knob button for ease. Now, you don't want your strokes to leak out of the blade's confine, so I would use the contiguous selection tool, which is similar to the magic wand in Photoshop, to quickly select the CB layer. Now make sure you're working on the shading layer, not the CB layer. And I hope you can see the marching ants around the selection from this over the shoulder recording. Personally, I find them distracting, so I'll go to select and uncheck display selection to hide them temporarily. And while it's locked, let's draw strokes around the handle and the blade joint. And as you can see, there is no need to worry about any strokes spilling outside the line art. And when done, don't forget to display selection back on and deselect to clear before proceeding to the next components. Let's select the handle with the same contiguous tool. Hide the selection. Sample base color. Smash K a couple of times to darken. Don't be afraid to use the brush smoothing if your strokes are wobbly. Then shade the darker areas around the circles. The handle's far end and the button. And the spots which are likely out of the light's reach. I won't go through the selection technique again because by now you should know the process. Likewise, I believe you understand the shading process, so I won't cover it again except where appropriate. Now, when you shade the dark spots on the circles, consider the light direction. If it were from the other direction, your shading would be on the opposite side. Like I said, consistency is key. For the blade, I went ahead and experimented with a variety of selections, simply filling them with the bucket fill, shift plus backspace being the shortcut. Don't be afraid to play around with different techniques, there's no right or wrong, you never know what you might come up with. If you are in doubt, you might find mirror view helpful, which you can toggle on off by simply hitting M. It's handy for spotting problems with fundamentals such as proportions, perspective, shading, etc. Okay, I think it's best if I keep it simple after all, at least in my opinion. You decide which variation works best for you. Let's add some pattern decoration on the wooden handle. Feel free to use the brush smoothing if your hands are not steady. Alright, I think that's enough shading for now. I'm going to wrap it up here, but get really excited for the next and final lesson, because I'll teach you how to add lighting for some serious eye candy effect. If you're looking for drawing that looks bombast and mean business, lighting is king. Obviously, this is outside the scope of this lesson, but if you want something that looks insanely realistic, lighting is the secret KFC ingredient. This often neglected bad boy reigns supreme in any concept art masterpiece you admire on ArtStation, assuming the rest of the fundamental pillars are in place, of course. You might have ignored it before, but don't ignore it now. Massive mistake, and I'll show you the fun you're massively missing out in the next lesson. So stay tuned, hit like and subscribe so you do not miss it out when it comes out. One more thing before I let you go. I don't know about you, but if you have been using Krita a lot like me, it's a godsend. Possibly the most powerful free open source app on the market. I dare say it's the 2D counterpart of Blender in the 3D art space, if not darn close. However, it can be pretty tough to learn the nitty-gritty with all these tutorial rabbit holes, especially the game-changer tools like the colorized mask you discovered today. Worse, the amount of tutorials and lessons on the web is nothing compared to Photoshop. I believe this is what's holding a lot of artists from making the switch to Krita. So, if that's you, if you're looking to master the nitty-gritty, love to learn what's under the hood of this amazing software, if your comfort zone or workflow in Photoshop or whatever painting app you're using is holding you back, then I strongly recommend this 3-part concept art series in Krita by Wahdi Muttaqin. This bundle, through practical examples, project files, and projects at the end of each section, will teach you not only all the tools and techniques you wished you knew earlier, but also the foundation of concept art, from the sketch phase, line art, all the way to shading, lighting, and details. You'll even learn how to create your own brushes in advanced parts, layer techniques, and tons of hidden tricks you won't find on the web that will save you an incredible amount of time in your workflow, like the colorized mask you discovered today. And hey, this comes from a man who went through this course myself. I'm not pitching you this for just the usual self-sponsoring reason. Here is the proof. Let me show you a clip I recorded while I was doing the X illustration project from the course. If you've been following me on my socials, the equipment and the hand might sound familiar. Full disclosure, I discovered the colorized mask in this course while doing this X, the same technique I used for the cane tutorial and the previous lesson, so I can't take all the credit. Back then I couldn't draw at all. Now the results are standing in front of you. I think you can imagine how much progress I've made. If I could do it, so can you. If you're tired of the fruitless tutorial rabbit hole, frustrated from jumping from course to course to just learn the missing links here and there, then this bundle has everything you need. Don't waste any more time watching more content unless you really love to take a couple more years to figure it out on your own. The series are available on both Udemy and Skillshare. If you are busy, no problem. The first part, which is the one for beginners, is actually more than enough. But I encourage you to invest in the intermediate and advanced part if you really want to get the most out of it. If you are a premium member on Skillshare, perfect. You can start watching the lessons now at no additional cost. If not, no problem. I've got you covered with a 30-day trial instead of the 1-week trial Skillshare gives you if you sign up on their website. The invitation link is in the description box. Part 1 takes you about 2 weeks to finish, even less, possibly 1 week if you are aggressive about it. The best part is you can use the same trial period to enroll in a ton of different courses as you can possibly imagine, not just Wahdi's series. You get an entire month to get a taste of everything you wish to learn. And hey, a lot of these Udemy courses in your wishlist are available on Skillshare. If the free previews on Udemy are not enough for you to judge the course's worth, why not use the same trial period to evaluate them? If you have been skeptical for a while, this is your chance to see if they are worth your money. And after the trial, if you love to remain a premium member, great, your support means the world to me. For every sign up, I get a 60% commission if you go premium. If not, no worries, you can try Udemy. The only difference is that you will pay upfront, but you will get a permanent license to use the course for a lifetime. Either way, your support helps me continue making these videos and tutorials for free, and most importantly, helps me pursue my dream to go full time in this gig. So again, links in the description box. Have fun, happy painting, and see you in the next one.